you'll lose it. Meaning, if you don't move the energy in your body, you will naturally lose your vitality, because energy needs to be moved. And that is actually the process of entropy. Entropy means that all things naturally fall apart unless you fuel them. Okay, so if you don't really upgrade the energy, if you don't activate the natural process of energizing yourself, you will naturally experience accelerated aging, pain and discomfort, fatigue. That all comes natural with the process of entropy. So today I'm going to give you 3 simple tools on how to defy entropy, how to increase your energy, how to slow down the aging process and actually move towards ageless vitality. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter which condition you're facing. All that matters is to get started and to actually create changes, lifestyle changes, to break these patterns, so the natural process of declining, decaying, breaking down actually gets interrupted, and you move towards building vitality on a daily basis. It actually becomes such a devotion that your life is committed to youthening and ageless vitality and upgrading, increasing the energy, so you actually become more magnetic with age and not less. So number 1 is we have to do some regular cleansing process, some kind of detox, sometimes of some cleansing the body, because we all accumulate waste and toxins and stagnation in our body. So it's critical to do on a regular basis, doing a cleanse, whether this is a water fast or a juice cleanse, or simply going on a raw food lifestyle, such as eating lots of fruits and simple salads. So with the water fast, it's actually the most powerful thing that you can ever do, because what happens, your body creates stem cells, which means you're getting younger. So water fasting is the fountain of youth. And you can see this is like an internal cleanup crew that goes to work when you're not eating. And they start to, all the cells that are strong and healthy, they start to clean up the cells that are weak and aging. And that's how you're actually upgrading all your system. And after the fast, you actually feel more energized. You feel younger. All your systems start functioning more optimally. You're giving yourself an upgrade. And that's like pushing the reset button on all the stagnation and all that is being like obstructed in your body. So water fasting is the most powerful way to start a new year. But if you haven't done that yet, you can start with a little gentler, doing a juice cleanse. That means going on a liquid frequency. It's not like a fast where you're creating stem cells, but you're still cleansing out. Your digestive tract gets cleansed and cleaned out. And if you don't want to do the liquid frequency, you can also go on a diet that is high in fruits and simple salads and staying 100% raw. That is a very gentle cleanse, because what happens, you're feeding your body lots of enzymes. All living foods have enzymes, and they're actually feeding yourself sunlight, because fruits, especially the fruits that are high up on a tree, they're infused with sunlight, which is the purest form of sun energy. So when you eat fruits, you're actually feeding yourself sunlight and living structured water. And that's like feeding yourself with substances that actually clean up your digestive tract. You can see it's like a broom that goes inside your digestive tract and starts sweeping things up and cleaning things out. So it's very cleansing. The fruits are detoxifying and cleansing. And that's how you also upgrade your energy. When that gunk will come out, sludge and the waste will be cleaned out. You will naturally have more energy, more life force. And what also happens after we do a cleanse, your mind actually gets sharper. You have much better focus. You can think more clearly, and you actually have more creative inspiration. And just in general, you have a stronger drive. So after you do a cleanse, you will notice an increase in energy. Also, there's an increase in happiness. When you do a deep cleanse, sometimes you just, after the cleanse, you feel happy for no reason. because the density is cleaned up. It's not just that you're cleaning out toxins and waste, you're also cleaning out dense, heavy energy that is actually stored in your body, in your tissues, in your cells. And often we can actually clean out emotional stuff because we all hold unresolved emotions in our body, and they're stored in the cells. When we clean the cells, then we clean out these emotions and they come to the surface, and then it's actually the perfect time to release them. So fasting works not just on a physical level, also an emotional and mental level. It gives you mental clarity, sharpness, and focus, and it gives you more emotional balance, that you actually can be with these emotions. Instead of reacting to emotions, you learn to be with them and hold them with so much love and move through these emotions. So fasting works on so many deep levels. It's actually the most powerful way to start your year, doing a cleanse. And you can do a juice cleanse if the fasting. So if you've never done a water fast, I recommend you start with a juice cleanse first, or if at least you go on a raw food diet with lots of living foods and cleanse your system, go on a lighter frequency. And then afterwards you will have just so much more energy. And what happens is also your palate changes. Certain foods are no longer interesting. They're actually not attracted to them. And also what is really important when we do a cleanse, we don't want to just do a cleanse and go back to these old patterns that we have. We actually want to, after the cleanse, reevaluate, what do I need to let go of? Which foods are no longer serving me? And which new foods do I need to integrate? Maybe I need to eat more fruits and vegetables, more greens. Maybe I need to eat more raw food. Maybe less cooked food, less dense food, and maybe it's time to let go of processed foods, or at least have them just occasionally. So you want to really make some changes with the cleanse is like the reset, and then afterwards it's about creating lifestyle changes. What do you need to shift in order to have more energy? And sometimes it's time to let go of things and say goodbye, or just have them occasionally as a treat. But the critical thing is the consistency. And I say it over and over again, consistency is the key to any success in all areas of life. So you got to do things consistently. It's not just doing a cleanse, going to old patterns, because all you had an experience, but over time these old patterns start kicking in. So it's critical to make new, this is when the resolution comes in, because New Year's resolution is not just on January 1st, it's an ongoing thing. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to implement? Who do I need to be? That's the most important question. If you want to have more energy, who do I need to be in order to have more energy? And then what do I need to do to be that person? So it's about making lifestyle changes. So number 1 is the cleanse. Number 2 is getting yourself moving. As I said before, if you don't move it, you lose it. So we got to move energy. We got to move the energy in our body. We got to move the body daily. And I'm telling you, walking is not movement, because people tell me all the time that they walk their dog. That's not considered movement. When I speak of movement, I'm talking about movement that gets your heart pounding, that gets you sweating, gets you really breathing deeply. That's the kind of movement. And I recommend 3 different movements. Number 1 is any movement that gets you really activated, such as jumping, running, sprinting, or rebounding. Rebounding is jumping on a trampoline, because you're really getting everything moving. All your organs are being moved and activated. You're actually massaging your internal organs, and everything is moving and shaking. And that is the number 1 of the movement, which is about some high intensity training. Anything you can do, dancing, you can turn the music on in your room and start dancing and shaking. That is also great. Or you go for a run, you just in the morning get up and you just run until you start breathing deeply and really being activated from within. That increases energy. And the number 2 of the movement is flexibility training. And that's something many people don't talk about. We all know about, the high interval training. We know about strength training, but flexibility is very critical, because your spine is the axis of your health. And Joseph Pilates said, you're only as healthy and as young as the flexibility of your spine. So it's critical to get the spine flexible. And the spine also houses your nervous system. So if there's stagnation in your spine, you actually have a dysregulated nervous system, and it's very hard to deal with intense emotions or any stress or any trauma. So we got to get the spine open and flexible. And that requires daily training, such as backward bending, forward bending, twisting, squatting. Squatting is actually also very powerful because squatting opens up your hips, and we all store unresolved emotions in our hips. So it's critical to practice squatting every day. Also, squatting really lengthens the spine. It's a great training, so I recommend anyone practice squatting every single day, ideally twice a day. Start with that and do some deep breathing in these areas. If your spine is tight, you breathe into the spine. If your hips are tight, you breathe into it. By using the breath, we actually open up these blockages that are in our body. So these are important pieces. We got to get that spine moving, have the spine open and really flexible. Ideally, you want to do some intense backward bending. But if you're not there yet, you start with a yoga block behind your lying down. Have the yoga block behind you so your spine really opens up. Your chest is open, your spine opens, and then you breathe deeply in these areas that are very tight. And while you lie down, you also open your hips. That is a great exercise to get started, and do deep breathing while you work on the flexibility of your spine. And the number 3 of the movement is strength training. And we all know that with age, we experience bone loss. So it's really important to put pressure onto the bones. And you can do this through strength training by working with weights, going to a gym, using the machines. But this is also something very important. So you want to ideally combine all these 3 movements: high interval training, flexibility training, and strength training. If you can, do all 3 daily. If you can't, one day you do this, the other day you do the second one, and then the third one. But they should all be part of your daily routine if you want to be, amazing and ageless and be magnetic in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. There's really no excuse. But it starts by committing now. This is not something you do once a week or on the weekend or once in a while. No, this is like a daily, it's like a devotion. Devotion is an act of love because you love yourself so much and you really take such exquisite care of your body. And you see, your body is a temple. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. So how do you treat it as such? Do you treat it as it's a temple? It's that vessel that is so precious that carries you through life? Or are you just using it as a garbage can and just put in whatever? Now, we want to be very selective. What are you putting in your body? What kind of food are you giving it? What kind of thoughts are you feeding it with? What are the emotions you're storing in your body? What are you exposing yourself? What kind of people are you around? Because everything is energy. And whoever you surround yourself with, you're actually taking in that energy. So whatever you're feeding yourself, whether it's foods or thoughts or emotions, becomes part of you. So if you want to be someone who is vibrant and radiant, then it's important to feed your temple the very best. The purest, the finest, the highest that Mother Nature provides. And think of yourself, what colors are you eating? Are you eating all the colors of the rainbow? Or are you just eating foods that is brown and beige? And that's what sadly most people are. Or are you eating something from a package, which is no longer food, it's actually a product made by man. So this is the choices you have every single day. Because every day you are a choice. No one forces you into anything. You are the one who chooses. What am I feeding myself? That's something you want to contemplate. Is that nourishing me? Is that giving me energy? Is that upgrading me? Is that doing that? Or does it hurt me? Is it heavy that actually I feel like I need to take a nap afterwards? Is it draining me? Because at the end, we don't need to take stimulants to get energy, because energy is who you are. Your body naturally creates energy from within. It's not about taking something that gives you energy. And that is the greatest illusion. Most people take coffee thinking it gives you energy, but coffee doesn't give you energy. Coffee gives you stimulation. And stimulation is very addictive. If you have one coffee soon, you need 2 coffees, or you need a stronger coffee. But it's like this constant, it's a vicious cycle. We need it again in order to get a certain feeling, when in fact energy can be created naturally from within. But in order to have this amazing energy, you have to first release what is blocking you from energy. And that's really where the cleanse comes in. That's where the movement comes in. And the third piece is the breathing. We all breathe, otherwise we wouldn't be alive. But it's not about breathing shallow. You want to actually do some deep breathing. And not deep breathing in your apartment, actually deep breathing in nature. Because the air in your apartment or in your house is stagnant. It's not nourishing you. So we need fresh air, ideally in Mother Nature. The best quality air is actually mountain air. So if you're close to the mountain, go in the mountains and do some deep breathing there and see how you feel. Because you could actually be naturally so high just on mountain air. If you're not in the mountains, you can also go to the ocean or in the forest. These airs are superior, and they're actually nutrition. These are the most important nutrition, much more important than food. Because we can live without food for a very long time. There are people who have done 40 days of fasting. So that's possible. But who can be even just a day without air? No one. You can't. So air is actually the most critical piece of nutrition. It's the most important one. So it's important that you get good quality air. Opening the windows every day, getting the air circulating, going outside, doing some deep breathing, not shallow breathing just up here, like breathing all the way from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the top of your head. Some deep breathing and pumping the breath and doing some yogic breathing. There's all kinds of breathing techniques, but the critical is the quality of the breath and how deeply we breathe, because that's how you oxygenate yourself. And no disease can survive in a well oxygenated environment. So that's why this is critical. So these 3 pieces are really the key to experience ageless vitality. These are simple tools you can implement right away. Doing a cleanse, number 1. Getting yourself moving in all kinds of different movement techniques, and deep breathing with fresh air. This is the foundation for ageless vitality and radiant health. So if you want to move from exhaustion to energized, that's the foundation. And have many more tips that can go even deeper. So I invite you to join my free masterclass next Tuesday, where I share many different tools, but we go a little deeper than today. Today was just the foundation. So please join me if you're interested to move from entropy, where things are falling apart, to really being energized and electrified. So next Tuesday, and it's free, and I will put the link in this video. And I thank you so much for joining me here today, because it's possible. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter of your age. It doesn't matter which conditions you're experiencing right now. Anything can be shifted. Any condition can be reversed. Anything can be upgraded. But it starts with a commitment, with you wanting it, and with you knowing that it is possible for you. Because if you think it's too late, I can't do this, it's too hard, it's maybe for other people but not for me, that is how you create your reality. So number 1 starts with the mindset, with knowing I can do this and it is possible for me. And I'm willing to do whatever is required to get me from where I am right now to where I would like to be. But that is basic piece. Without this, nothing will happen. You will always be self-sabotaging yourself, because you're running on a belief that it's too hard, I can't do this, it's too late, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too much of this, or maybe not enough of this. So that's usually the beliefs that are running. too much or not enough. And we gotta let go of these beliefs because they are so disempowering and they're actually blocking us from experiencing what is truly available. And you can have vibrant health. You can have vitality even in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. I have seen it all over and over again. But it's really the difference between where you are, where you'd like to be, is simply the mindset, and then taking aligned action steps and creating lifestyle changes. That's how we create shifts. So much is available for you, and thank you for being here today, and join me next Tuesday. And please like this video, share it with your friends if you believe anyone can benefit from this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe my channel. I will be sharing many more tools so you can upgrade your health, your vitality, your life, your happiness, your magic, all of it. It's all possible, and it starts with you. Sending love.